Good day, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Lasya, and I hope you all are safe and taking good care of yourselves. Today, I'm going to be talking about how I draw eyes in front view, profile, and three-quarter view. I by no means say that this is the only way to draw them. These are just ways that I have gathered over the years. There may be more tips that may help you to improve even further, but the trick is to never stop being a student, especially when it comes to art. So, first, for the front view, I start with drawing eyes that are basically almond shapes, but with an S curve in the bottom and a tear duct on the inner corner of the eye. I like my eyes a bit rounded, but there may be many other slight variations that we can include by looking at more reference pictures. And the reference pictures that I have saved over the years, I'll give the links to those in the description. You can check them out and practice from them if you like. So the next thing to add are the eyelashes. Now I know that many recommend to add them in the end, but for some reason I can visualize the eyes better when I draw the lashes first. And note that the lashes go down to up like a U. Um, Earlier, I used to draw them as a shooting straight up, starting from the eyelids. So, that is something important I learned to make my eyes look a little bit more natural and realistic. The next one is the iris, which I start by making two bold strokes in either sides at its edges. I never draw a complete circle as the upper bit is slightly covered by the eyelids. Um and also, the reason why I do not draw the lower edge of the iris is because that bit is usually more exposed to light, which is why it appears extremely light. Next is the darker pupil inside the iris, which I draw like half a circle because of the highlight that usually appears right next to the pupil. And then I shade in the iris in essentially a gradient from top to bottom, since the lower half of the eyes is more exposed to light as compared to the upper half, which has a shadow from the eyelid and lashes above it. Now I'm drawing the waterline. Initially, what I used to draw as a single line, I realized making the waterline more prominent really makes eyes look more realistic. This is because the eye is a sphere covered by the skin. So, by clearly defining the edges of that skin, really makes a difference. The waterline can be made more prominent by highlighting it with a white gel pen or a sharp edged eraser if you like. I will come to shading the areas around the eyes a bit later. For now, I will be drawing the other eye in the same way as I did the previous one, and you can note all the steps I followed again here. So, I've often heard that drawing the infamous other eye and trying to make it look similar to the first one is usually a challenge. But if it is, you can draw the other eye along with the first one when drawing the first basic almond shape, like I said earlier, and the lashes along with it. The rest of the details are easy to add in later. I do not ever miss the gradient shading though, because the first time I discovered this method, it really made a huge difference in making my eyes look three dimensional. Even if you're drawing stylized eyes, gradients can make them look even more believable. So I make sure to not miss that, and it's something I would highly, highly recommend. Here, while shading the eyelids, the center of the eyelids, just like a basic spherical structure, is being more exposed to light than the edges. So I shade the edges darker and make it lighter towards the center. Now I am drawing the bags under the eyes. That is the mild swelling. Now this is optional, but I really like the way it looks. But remember not to overdo it, as it may make your characters or portraits look older the darker you make them. Just give light strokes and slight shading inside it and near the edge. That is the fold, just like how we shaded the eyelids. Next, I'm drawing the lower lashes. You can make them longer for female faces and shorter for men. You can even just not draw them at all for men. But I personally prefer drawing shorter lashes. Again, just like the upper lashes, they are curved outwards and not just going straight down. Now I'm just giving the small touch ups along the edges to make them pop a bit. Here is a step that I was missing earlier, that is shading and gradients inside the eyes. As you'll notice, if you look up at an eye up close, that they are never completely white. Plus, they have shadows from the eyelids, the lashes, the edges on either sides, etc. This is how I approach drawing eyebrows. I make the basic outlines first, and usually the inner edge of the eyebrows has loose strands of hair. They are longer and more openly spaced. And then it becomes denser and tighter as you approach the other end of the eyebrow. Next, we're gonna look at drawing eyes in a profile. So I draw this almost like a V turned to its side, but sort of flattened at the top and the bottom. And then I go in with the upper lashes, the waterline and the lower lashes, like I did for the previous one. One tip to draw natural looking lashes is to make them irregular, some sticking together and some slightly in another direction. Beware not to overdo your lashes. Draw light and subtle strokes. I'm extremely sorry about the out of focus shot. I'm still trying to figure out the camera settings, so please bear with me a bit over here. I think drawing eyes in a profile is fairly easier than drawing them in a front view. Another tip to improve any of your drawings is to really pay attention to gradients of shadows and highlights. Notice that the eyebrows are shorter than how they appear in the front view due to changes in perspective and foreshortening. Now we come to drawing an eye in your profile. It is almost the same as in the front view, only that the half near the nose bridge becomes shorter and more angular. And it's longer on the other side since it appears closer to you. Again, this is due to foreshortening. I'll be coming up with more videos on how to draw faces, and all of this will make more sense then, hopefully. The rest of the shading bit and adding the tear duct and waterline is similar to the front view. Now you'll see even the eyelids are not perfectly semicircular as compared to the front view of the eyes. This is what I was saying about foreshortening. The farther something is, the shorter the form becomes. So this is where I start shading the areas around the eyes. The basic principle is that since I'm assuming the light is in the front, the center of the eyes get the lightest value, but as we move away to either sides of the light source, I shade that area a little darker. Near the fold here, the eyelids cast a shadow in the area above it, so that part I shade darker and make the folds a little bolder too. And that's all I have for you today. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you did, let me know by liking the video and subscribing so that I can create more such videos for you. Please comment below this video or on my Instagram if there is any topic you want me to talk about. And I know the explaining bit might be a little confusing. I'm still getting used to it. So if you have any feedback or any questions at all, please leave them in the comments, either on this video or on Instagram, and I will make sure to answer them all for you. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.